channel. So today I'm filming my 15-week pregnancy update. So I'm actually 15 weeks tomorrow, and I haven't done a proper update since I announced that I'm pregnant. So if you don't know, I'm pregnant with my second. I have a son who's just over 2, so he will be almost 3 when this baby is born. And I wanted to film this update because I saw my midwife yesterday, so it was my first appointment, and it was the same midwife who I had through my first pregnancy. So there's like this system where you can choose to have the same midwife. Now this isn't necessarily the midwife that's going to deliver the baby, but it's the midwife who looked after me through my previous pregnancy. So I wanted to have the same midwife only because I did have complications postpartum. I had postpartum eclampsia, which is extremely rare. Normally you can have preeclampsia, which is during your pregnancy, and then once you have the baby it goes away, but I had it postpartum. So if you want to know the whole story, I will link my birth story down below if you're interested to know all the details about that. So that's another reason why I chose to have the same midwife, only because even though she wasn't there at my birth, and she wasn't, like, she did do the follow-up appointments postpartum as well, and she obviously knew everything that had happened, and she knew that I had a great pregnancy, great birth, great labour, and then that happened. So, and that's another reason why I chose to go back to the same hospital. Some concerns, and I was going through it in my head, like, do I go to the same hospital, do I go to a different hospital? But then I thought, they now know what happened and they have all my records there. And it's not just them that is more aware of it, I am as well. So I'm more aware of the symptoms and what feels normal and what doesn't. So I'd be able to pick up on it as well. So that's why I've chosen the same midwife and the same hospital. So yesterday was my first appointment, and we got to listen to the baby's heartbeat, that's such a magical moment. You could never get sick of hearing that sound. And Levi was with me. My husband couldn't come because he couldn't get time off work, and neither could my mum, but my dad came with me. And actually a couple of days before my midwife appointment, I went to get my flu shot from my GP, and she actually let me listen to the heartbeat there. And since my mum works at the medical practice, she was there and she got to hear the heartbeat. And then yesterday my dad was there, but we did FaceTime my husband while we were doing that, so he got to be a part of it as well. So we did the heartbeat, and both times the heartbeat was around 140, which they said was really good, and it was very strong, very loud. And Levi sat with me on the bed, and he was just looking at my belly, and he understands that I have a baby in my belly, but he also thinks that he does and that everyone does. So I don't know what I don't think he can make heads or tails of what's happening, but I think this was the first time he heard something from my belly, and he goes, "Oh, Baba," and I said, "Yes, a Baba in Mummy's belly," and it was so nice. He was just sitting there looking at me, and yeah, it was really nice. So we went over a lot of stuff in that first appointment. You go through, obviously, since this is my second pregnancy, you go through what happened the first pregnancy and all of that stuff. So there was a lot of paperwork to go through. They do like a mental health check as well, and they did my blood pressure, which was great, and they made me do a urine sample where you put the little those strips in, that the color, whatever, I don't know what they're called, but that was fine as well. And we didn't go through the birth plan yet. That we will do more towards the end of the pregnancy, but because of what happened to me the first time, I was really scared that I probably wouldn't be able to have a normal this time around. I don't know why that was in my head, that's what I thought. But she did say that she can't see any reason why I can't have the same birth experience that I did with Levi, because I loved my birth with him and I wanted to have the same experience. So she said there's no reason that she can see why I wouldn't be able to have that. She did ask me what my pain relief was when I had Levi, and I did tell her it was epidural, and that I was a bit concerned about having that again, only because one of the most common side effects of epidural is headaches. And if you've watched my birth story, that's literally the first thing that happened to me right after they took out my epidural. But then that wasn't related to the epidural. It's a symptom of postpartum eclampsia. This was a headache that I've never experienced before in my life, and I hope to never experience again. And so she did tell me that the epidural did not cause my postpartum eclampsia, and it didn't cause that headache. That headache was caused by the postpartum eclampsia. And she in fact said that they will now recommend that I have an epidural, only because if I'm in less pain, the less chance of my blood pressure going up and all that type of complication. So I was like, oh great, because I really obviously, I loved my epidural. It was it made me feel very calm, and even though you can still feel like pressure and all of that, you don't feel, I guess, the stinging pain and all of that, and that made me feel really, I loved my experience having Levi, and I want to have the same experience for this baby. So that's what she said. So I'm hoping that I can have that same experience this time around. And she also did book me in with an obstetric specialist because of what happened in my first postpartum birth, because she wants me to have the best care that I can from the start. Now, I'm technically not considered like in a high risk category, but she still wants me to see a specialist along with seeing her, and all keeping in contact with my GP and stuff, so we've got all our bases covered. And I obviously told her that I am scared, at times of things repeating itself. And she said and this is not even a possibility that this can occur again this time. I may be fine throughout my pregnancy, may be fine after birth, I may not have any complications. And she said, if I do, it's not going to get to the level that it did last time. It's not going to get as scary as it did last time. And all of us are involved from the very beginning, and that's how she wanted it to be. That's why she booked me in early with this specialist. So I'm going to be seeing her, the specialist, and my GP throughout the pregnancy and postpartum to just make sure everything is okay. So I've got my first specialist appointment tomorrow. So based on that, she said they may consider putting me on aspirin, only to basically how she explained to me, based on research, what they think causes postpartum eclampsia and preeclampsia. It's something to do with the way that the placenta implants itself, that maybe it's not getting the blood flow that it needs, and therefore that causes that complication. So this aspirin is supposed to regulate a healthy blood flow to the placenta and minimize the risk of all those complications. So that's what she said to me, and that's what the specialist may choose to do tomorrow. So I don't know what's going to happen in that appointment. So based on that, I'll probably do an update video next week on what the specialist says. But as of now, everything seems great. I've been feeling great. I've been feeling like myself again. I don't have any nausea or fatigue or any of that anymore. I'm in my second trimester now, and to me, that's always been the best trimester. Like, you're not so big that you're breathless or tired, and you're not sick and all of that in the beginning stages of pregnancy. I did actually, for the past week or so, I have felt a few flutters, only like a handful over the week or week and a bit. And it's very, it's so quick that I think only because I've had a pregnancy before I can say I know what it feels like, and maybe that makes you more aware, but it is more common to feel movements earlier in your second and third time around and so on. When I was pregnant with Levi, I didn't start feeling movements until about 16, 17 weeks. So this is probably 2 weeks earlier than I started feeling with Levi, and that is the best part to me about being pregnant. It makes it feel so real, like you've actually got a baby growing inside, and it's the most beautiful feeling. It feels so quick. It just feels like a little wriggly worm for 2 to 3 seconds, and that's it. And I've only felt it maybe a handful of times. So I'll go ahead and show you my bump as well. So I'm probably not wearing the best top for you to see this, but I'll just move the scarf out of the way so you can have a look. But that's what it looks like. It's just literally right here. So that's all it is. Is just that lower part there, nothing really at the top. If I pull that tight, you'd probably be able to see it a bit better. So it's just rounded out here, and nothing else has really changed. It's just this little part. So that's what it looks like at 15 weeks. And that's my little update for you guys, and I'm glad to be back into filming. The reason I'm filming in this front room is because I haven't got my filming room set up the way I'd like it to be at the moment. There's still lights and stuff everywhere. I haven't gotten around to setting that up yet, but we've settled into this house so quickly and we love it here. We're really, really happy here, and even though we're not going to be here very long, we'll probably be here for a year at most, but we really, really like it here. It's a beautiful place and Levi's happy, and we settled in a lot quicker than I thought we would, only because the very day that we moved in, from midnight that night, we started a 3-day lockdown in Perth because of a positive community-based COVID test. So that lockdown kind of helped in a way, because I got to focus on this house, and really over those 3 days I unpacked everything that we needed, and we're at a place now where we can finally have some sort of normal routine again. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. It would mean so much to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!